Did a little work on getting the wheels ready. I'm messing around and trying to make these wheels fit. And so I wanted to get the chassis done so that I could start working, get the frame in here done so I could start working on the wheels and getting the stance and everything, getting the wheel position right. So I still have to paint the gas tank here. And one way I do that is through the use of Silly Putty. And if you don't use Silly Putty, I would encourage you to try it. It's a great little tool here for just masking off those kind of odd shapes, places, trying to mask off the tank. Now, I already painted the straps black, and now I'm using bare metal foil to mask those off, and now I'm going to use the Silly Putty to go around that. And I just kind of make a, kind of a piece around it. I will just form the Silly Putty around the edge of the gas tank here, okay, where I get kind of roughed in, and you get it to kind of stick and make sure it's covering all the edges. Just kind of get it in there best you can, but make sure it's a little higher than what you're masking off, because you will go through and just push this in, and you're going to go through now. And I made this little just tool. See if I can zoom in a little bit here. So you've got it roughly masked off, and now I want to go through and push these edges. Okay, I want to just push these edges down to the point where I'm masking, and I just took a popsicle stick and I just gently push that down. And if you can see, maybe you can, what a straight line that gives you on the gas tank there. It makes a nice little masking line there. And so you just go around the gas tank and kind of work that down to the edge you want, and just get it all nice and tight the way you want it. And you can move it around a little bit. Just make sure everything's covered and the way you want it. And it doesn't take a lot of pressure, to get this down. Like I said, you mess up, it's Silly Putty, you can re-stick it down to the surface. Another reason I like to prime is for that purpose, is things stick to primer a little better than they do unprimed surfaces. So you just go around all the edges here, and just takes a little bit of time, but the result is so nice. Compared to trying running tape on this is kind of a pain. Tape, to me, trying to run tape around this is just crazy. So I use the Silly Putty quite a bit. Probably use it on every car in any odd shapes that I want to mask off. I just grab the old Silly Putty and start forming it around there. pushing it down, and just gives me just this great little straight line there. And like I said, it's just so versatile here. And if you mess up, you can push some more in there just to get it straight. See if you can see that. Just mask off pretty nice. I can see fell a little bit on the edge right there, so I'm just going to push that back up in there and yeah. So, oops, grabbed one of my rims there. And then you just walk it around nice and easy. And so that's the tip of the day, is using the Silly Putty to mask off this gas tank and get it ready for paint. Probably paint it a flat aluminum. Just because it's a stock version of a car, I'll just probably stay pretty standard. And make sure you got it all in there nice and right on the edge. One thing I like about using the popsicle stick is it's not a real, it's more of a blunt piece, so really it works a little better with a blunt piece than it does, say, with a sharp edge. Trying to push down, let's say if I were to use this kind of X-Acto thing, I would just cut right through it, but with the blunt popsicle stick, it has a tendency to just press it down where you want it. And you just get that nice and neat in there. Push down. And like I said, the results are really pretty cool. And I forget where on YouTube I found this little trick, but one of you guys out there showed this and been doing it ever since. I like details and straight lines and those things, so I'm always stealing all of your cool little tips and tricks. And so once you get that all set up, well, now, you know, I'm just going to make sure, because I'm using an airbrush, so I'm not going to have a lot of overspray, but I'm going to, you know, make sure that I use the rest of this Silly Putty to mask off, you know, the rest of the chassis a little farther away that I don't want to get overspray on. And so we're just going to, you know, stretch it and move it to where I don't get any overspray on the rest of the chassis here. Okay. Now the one thing is, once you get this done, you want to make sure that you are pretty prepared to spray, because this will sink and settle, and you know, it'll just kind of deform on you there. So you want to mask it off, have this thing ready to shoot when it's masked off and ready. So we've got that, and I will take this over to the spray booth and get ready to shoot it up a nice color. At the spray booth, got everything masked off. Now we're just going to take this, Bring the brusher down here a little bit. Nice and easy. Alright, let that dry a little bit and then put another coat on and finish it up.